Welcome back to Bleeding Blue, a show about the history of the New York Football Giants. My name is Justin Penick, and as always, one of my best friends in the world, Nikki Snacks. It is draft month. Snacks, we are having our first draft-themed episode this month. How are you doing, my friend? It's always nice to see you.
It's always great to see you, too. We lied to the people when we said we're going to try and do every episode in person, but
well, it's your fault.
Yes, life events get in the way, but I think moving forward, you guys will see us together, which
Can we announce this though? You got a job and it's paying you good, and that's why you're in the process of moving down south. South Jersey, not the South.
No. Okay, good, because some people call where I'm moving central, and that's not the case.
It's South Jersey.
It's South Jersey. Yes, I got a very good job. I am in the process of moving from my roots in North Jersey, which by the way, I don't want to get this twisted. Okay. Just because I'm physically not in North Jersey doesn't mean I'm not North Jersey. Okay.
You are North Jersey. It's not just like your heart's in North Jersey. You are North Jersey.
Correct. And I was going to tweet this, and maybe I will tomorrow, but I've been driving back and forth this week because I don't move in until actually, today's my moving day, everybody.
Yeah, the day that this is airing is your moving
today is
day,
my moving day.
Yeah.
But I've been driving up and down the Parkway, and going down to work and everything, and I see these rest stops, and they're named after famous New Jersey people.
Yeah. And
I think that's my goal in life.
You want to be a rest stop?
I want to be a rest stop. Yeah. I want to be. I'm not gonna give my last name. I want to be Nikki Snacks rest stop exit. I want to be my favorite number is 20.
Are you a Parkway or a Turnpike? Because most of the rest stops are on the Parkway.
Correct. Yes.
The Turnpike.
Yes, most of them are. There's a couple on the Turnpike. John Bon Jovi, you can get off on the Turnpike, which is my favorite rest stop because they have a big guitar out there.
Yeah.
And they have all these great quotes with all these great New Jerseyans in there. So I want to be on the Parkway, and
Parkway is more Jersey, I feel.
It is more Jersey. People, when you think of highways in Jersey,
Turnpike is the road that people used to get through Jersey or up to New York or down to Maryland, Delaware, et cetera, et cetera.
Right, so. Correct. And there is a rest stop. I think it's just a gas station and a convenience store, but I'll take that. Up on exit 170. Like real up north, and that's the one I want. And I'm going to put a petition in to get that name for me. I might probably have to die early, and then my friends and family will have to do that for me. But
you're well on your way to that.
Oh, no question.
You're well
the really bad part about this job now is that I have to significantly cut down on my drinking, which, probably a good thing, but also probably gives me a couple extra years, which is not good. But anyway, so big news. I'm doing well. And also I am first, like you said, first draft episode themed, and I'm very excited. I think this is gonna be a fun episode.
So what we're doing is this episode is going to be best Giants draft picks by each round. So Snacks and I were going to narrow it down to two players per round we are going to talk about. We're going to do 1 through 7. And then for a decent portion of the NFL's history, the draft was more than 7 rounds. So we're going to talk about some guys that were picked after the 7th round, and then we'll even, give 2 undrafted free agents. We're officially going to pick 2 of the best Giants undrafted free agents, and we'll be doing that for each and every round of the NFL draft as well. So, Snacks?
Yes.
We flipped a coin.
We did.
And you won 2 out of 3. So you are going to be going first. 2 players out of the first round, Giants all time. Which 2 are you going to go with that are the best?
Yep. So I think the first round's pretty obvious. The number 1. If you don't get this, you're probably not a Giant fan. You're also probably an idiot. So without further ado, the best draft pick, the best football player of all time, Lawrence Taylor. Out of North Carolina, the freak was drafted number 2 overall.
Mm-hmm.
He is, without question, the greatest football player of all time. And I think this was about as easy of a decision.
It was the easiest, yeah.
It was by far the easiest. I'm like, I'm like, Justin, should I even say it? Like, will that be annoying that I even have to say Lawrence Taylor? But anyway, we'll just get him out of the way. Lawrence Taylor is number one. And your best friend, I'm going with another Giants legend who some argue should be in the Hall of Fame. And pretty wild that LT went 2 and Carl Banks went number 3 in the first round, third overall pick. Fun fact, right? I'm sure everybody knows the last time we drafted a linebacker in the first round was Carl Banks.
1984.
1984. Do we see something this year, maybe in a trade back?
It's funny. We were talking about Devin Lloyd on a.
I told you I love Devin Lloyd.
We were talking about Devin Lloyd. If it wasn't irresponsible to take him at 7, it kind of would be good.
Yes.
Trade.
That's why I said. That's why I said possibly in a trade back.
Possibly trade back. That's right. But Carl Banks, 1984, Michigan State. LT was the slam dunk. In 1981, he was taken in the first round out of University of North Carolina.
I would love to go back and really. I wish I saw the coverage and everything of okay, this is the Giants' easiest draft selection ever. This is probably the easiest football draft selection ever, and how long it actually took them to put that pick in, because I would assume it would be under 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, and maybe for some fans that are a little bit older than Snacks and I, here's a question that just came up: What was the coverage of the NFL draft like? Was it even televised? I don't even know.
It was televised. Maybe not.
Was it this highly there is no doubt that it was not as always highly coveted of an event as it is right now.
No.
It's just flat out not. There could be, I don't know if there's playoff basketball going on in late April, early May, but I guarantee you that the night 1 of the NFL draft is going to beat whatever playoff basketball game is happening that night. And I have no doubt. That
night, and compare round 1 ratings to if there's a game 7 in the NBA Finals. Compare it. I guarantee. I would honestly assume that the NFL draft wins.
Yeah, that's
how crazy it is.
No, so
that's how crazy it is.
I really want to know,
especially with no LeBron Blames in it.
What was the coverage of the NFL draft like, and what was the fan reaction of it like? Kind of going back to mid 80s, 90s, et cetera, especially when it was more than 7 rounds, because I'm sure it was long as fuck.
Oh God, yeah. And I would assume they didn't televise all rounds. And plus, you got guys like Mel Kiper and Todd McShay and Daniel Jeremiah doing all these now. You definitely didn't have that.
They do that 365 days a year.
Right. They made careers out of this shit. So, and shout out Mel Kiper, he's a pioneer of it. So yeah, those two guys, LT and Carl Banks, I thought that was pretty easy. Phil Simms obviously is a great choice. He was the Giants' second best quarterback of all time. JPP's up there.
JPP's up there, yeah. From
when you go down the list, in 2010. When you go down, all right. Well, cat's out of the bag after last week. OBJ was a great first round pick for a couple of years.
Yeah,
didn't do much winning, but he was an electric player. Hakeem Nicks was really good. Another UNC product.
Yeah. Another guy that I want to give a little bit of run to is some other guys too. Mark Haynes, he was the 8th overall pick, 1980 from Colorado. He was a 4-time All-Pro with the Giants from 1980 to 1985. Imagine that stretch. He was with the team for 6 seasons, and he was a 4-time All-Pro in that stretch, not counting his rookie year and then his final year with the Giants. That's a pretty good run. He just missed the Super Bowl. Rodney Hampton, 1990 from Georgia. You mentioned Odell, 2014 from LSU. Jeremy Shockey, 2002 from Miami. Yes, Matthias Kiwanuka, 2006 from Boston College. And Snacks, one that you did miss.
I know what you're gonna say. It's Frank Gifford.
Frank Gifford, 1952 from USC.
I had him written down. I thought Carl Banks was a little bit more sexier. So
you love disrespecting the oldie Giants.
No, really it's not so much that I like disrespecting them. It's just I don't know. Come on. I'm trying to cater to the audience.
That is true. I don't know if we have a large audience base that saw Frank Gifford play.
I would assume that we have nobody watching the show that saw Frank Gifford play. So watch them announce, yeah. Not watch them play.
All right, I have the second round, and I'm going to go with Michael Strahan, 1993 from Texas Southern. Yeah. And then the second one, the greatest offensive lineman in New York Giants history, Chris Snee, 2004 from Boston
I
College.
like that a lot. I really like that. But you know what? You're 100% right. He is by far the greatest offensive lineman in New York Giants history.
I feel like
nice call.
I feel like that's been said before, but I don't know if it's said enough.
No, it's probably not. Probably because maybe we're all so like scarred over the last decade. Well, in a sense, you should probably say it even more.
Yeah, to like appreciate him. You know, and the fact that he played from 2004 to 2013, that's 9 seasons, 9-10 seasons.
Yeah.
And there have been offensive linemen for the Giants that have played a little bit longer. Like, there's going to be some that I'm going to mention on this list where it's like, maybe you didn't hear of them, or maybe you're hearing their name for the first time in a long time, but they played for the Giants for quite a long time. The Giants are actually somewhat good at, if they're not good at drafting linemen, but when they get them right, they're here.
They get them right,
and
yes.
and they get them right, at least in the 80s and the 90s. So,
well, yeah. And I'll say one thing too: you stepped in shit because you're about to run off like 10 names.
Mm-hmm.
The second round is the Giants' best round in their draft.
Oh,
in their
no
history
doubt.
Of the New York Giants, the second round is by far their best round.
And you know what's funny? The real football fans of New Jersey, Katie and Caitlin, they talk about this all the time. How the second round for the Giants is better. Like, their track record, outside of LT and outside, the Hall of Famers that are up there, and Carl Banks, arguably a Hall of Famer, but I think there's more quality names that I'm about to read right here than the first round, because there came a point where I was kind of reaching, Rodney Hampton taken in the first round. Good career, not a great career. Odell, obviously, his time was short. Hakeem Nicks, obviously, his time was short. First round. Matthias Kiwanuka too, and that was the last guy that I put. So here's the rest of the guys. A running back that wore 21, 1997, and he went to Virginia.
Thank you very much for doing that, Justin. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Look at this.
Look at this.
Okay, good. Look at that. Thank you. Everybody see who that is? You're probably reading it backwards, but you see that? Yeah, I did that.
It's not backwards. It's not a mirror.
Whatever. That's a running back, number 21, that is decapitated.
Pepper Johnson.
I would never do that in real life.
Pepper Johnson, 1986, he went to Ohio State. Brad Van Pelt, 1973, went to Michigan State. Leonard Marshall, 1983, went to LSU. Osi Umenyiora, 2003, he went to Troy. Jumbo Elliott went to the University of Michigan. Mark Collins, defensive back, went 1986. Cal State Fullerton. Joe Morris, 1982, went to Syracuse. And Jason Sehorn, 1994, drafted, went to USC. Those are some pretty damn good names that I just read off right there.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And one of your last names was Jason Sehorn, who, I mean, if you don't love Jason Sehorn, that's... And can I also throw one in there too, who doesn't get any love because he wasn't here a whole lot, but for me, in my early fandom days, and especially in 2000 and in the NFC Championship game, but Joe Jaravis was drafted by the New York Giants in 2000. I want to say, oh God, I don't remember what year he was drafted, but 98.
98. I was about to be like, 98. Why do I feel like he's a 98 kind of guy?
Yes. Corey Webster, did you mention him?
No, but again, I mean, these are just names
these are right, exactly. Steve Smith.
I wanted to keep it to 10 because I figured I don't want to just be here listing.
Linval Joseph, like these are good. Dalvin Tomlinson, these are good players.
Yeah.
The second round, the Giants absolutely buried as a franchise. So shout out to them in the second round. If only they can hit on this next round.
Yeah, the third round is a little different. So let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the third round. Well, I think the third round is about as easy as you can get because there's really only 2 names that fully stick out. We're going to go with Hall of Famer Sam Huff because that's, I mean, you say I disrespect the old timers, and I probably did when I didn't put Sam Huff on the list that of guys I wish I saw in my snacks pantry a couple months ago. And then, Giants fan favorite, legend, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Justin Tuck. I think it's pretty easy. And when you go down and you read these people, it's ugly.
Yeah, here's the other significant names that I have. So you mentioned Tuck, Notre Dame 2005, Sam Huff 1956 from West Virginia, Jeff Hostetler 1985 from Penn State, and he also went to West Virginia. Safety Greg Jackson is a Super Bowl champ. He went to LSU. And then tackle Roman Oben went to Louisville,
Roman.
and he
Yep.
was drafted in 1996, and he was a tackle for the Giants from 1996 to 1999. I mentioned Robin because we may be doing something with him in the very near future.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay,
Which
so
you don't know about.
No, I clearly don't, because that's a surprise to me, and that's a cheap plug. So shout out to Ruben Oben. But you also you didn't mention Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker.
No way. Missed. You want to know why? When you look on Pro Football Reference and the way that we're looking at it by AV, Stephen Baker didn't play for a long time, so I guess I must have missed him. He's kind of located at the bottom there. That's a good catch.
He is. And that's my fault. It's not Ruben Oben, it's Roman Oben.
Roman Oben, yeah.
Misspoken, because I know I'll catch shit for that. Just a couple more I want to mention too, which is pretty just unbelievable. They drafted punter Brad Maynard in 1997
Wow.
in the third round. They drafted a punter. I remember Brad Maynard. They also drafted knee-biting crazy man Dan Campbell, tight end, in 1999. They drafted.
He was a third rounder.
He was a third round.
He was not
pick,
very
yeah.
good.
No, he wasn't. But that's okay. He was a great blocker. They drafted. I'm just gonna shoot off some names that I have said in the past when we watched 2000. It was Ron Dixon, who's arguably besides Emlyn Tennell, the best returner in Giants history. So that's cool. Will Peterson, who I always had high hopes for, alongside Will Allen. He never worked out. And here's another one too, Justin. Mario Manningham, third round pick.
Yeah.
He did one of the biggest catches in Super Bowl history, with the greatest throw in NFL history. So I think that's kind of a good one. And
I'd probably put him third.
You know what? I probably would too.
Behind Huff and Tuck.
Huff and Tuck, yeah. Of the names we mentioned, well, yeah, I guess you have to. No, Stephen Baker.
No, I put Manningham above Stephen.
I'd put Manningham too, yeah. Because Baker Baker had, yeah, you're right.
Baker had a cool nickname, and
yeah,
he was good, but he wasn't. Mario Manningham delivered one of the best moments in Super Bowl history.
He literally did,
Best
and
plays.
he had a huge postseason that year too. Like, we forget, caught a touchdown in the wild card game. He caught a touchdown against San Fran, which was a huge touchdown.
Yep.
So yeah, those are just a couple other ones, and Davis Webb. So
there you go. I'm back on the Giants. Fourth round. He was a third round pick. Unbelievable.
It's so nauseating.
Fourth round. Now we get back to a decent amount of names, and the two guys that I'm going to be going with: Harry Carson, 1976 from South Carolina State, Hall of Famer, and then the second guy. This is tough.
Do it.
I'm gonna go Brandon Jacobs, 2005 Southern Illinois.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go with them.
I would have fucking killed you if you didn't. So.
Well, here are the names. Here are the names that you could have possibly picked from. So again, I picked Harry Carson and Brandon Jacobs as the two best Giants draft picks of the fourth round.
Oh, wait a minute.
Keith Hamilton, 1992 from Pitt.
The Hammer.
Jim, I want to put this guy in because he was very, very good, but I can't pronounce his last name. Jim Kat Kavage, defensive end, NFL champ, two-time All-Pro, 1956 went to Dayton. Barry Cofield, 2006 went to Northwestern. Gary Reasons, 1984 went to Northwestern State. Mark Bavaro, 1985 Notre Dame.
So you know what? You went, Jake. You told me to go with Reason over Hart. You went Hart over Reason.
No, you know what? Let's look at the stats here. Let's look at the stats.
Justin, outside of Eli Strand, who's my favorite Giant of all time?
Brandon Jacobs.
I would have taken Bavaro over him.
Bavaro spent 85 to 90 with the Giants. He missed the season in 1991 with an injured knee, and then he left 92 to 94. He was with Cleveland and Philly.
I get it. The Philly part hurts, but I get it. I think Bavaro has a. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm like voting against Brandon Jacobs right now, which I never do. But I'm also a little salty at Brandon Jacobs people. But anyway.
But Brandon Jacobs, because we've tried to reach out to Brandon Jacobs, and they've actually gotten back to you. But
yes, they have, and then they just ice me.
And then they just ghost you.
It's pissed me off a little bit, but that has nothing to do with Jacobs. I just think Bavaro, the namesake alone, and the plays he made were just so much more in Giants lore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know, but Brandon Jacobs leads the Giants in
touchdowns.
I get it. For rushing.
I know.
He has 60. Mark Bavaro had 28 as a Giant. Brandon Jacobs.
All right, well, come on.
Brandon Jacobs was here with the Giants, basically very, very, productive from 2005 to 2011, which is, I think 2 years, 1 year longer than what Bavaro was productive for the Giants. Both 2-time Super Bowl champs. I do think that Brandon Jacobs brought more value to the Giants than Mark Bavaro.
All right, you know what? It's hard. It really is hard to argue. Value and longevity, you're right. They're both 2-time Super Bowl champions. I guess I was thinking more along the lines
Mark
of like
Bavaro, I mean, if you want to say that Mark Bavaro was a better football player.
Well, yeah, I think his position's tougher, and no offense, Brandon Jacobs.
Yes.
He did more memorable plays, and he was part of the Giants era that brought the Giants back, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Brandon Jacobs is part of the era that also brought back Giants football that we wouldn't.
This is true too. Yeah.
Odds are we wouldn't even have this football. We wouldn't even have this show if it weren't for, Brandon Jacobs and those Super Bowl teams. So
that's a really, really good point. We 100% wouldn't. But can I name a couple others?
Zack Diaz. Did I say Zack Diaz? 2007 from Brown. Also drafted in the 4th round.
Did you say Barry Cofield?
I did say Barry Cofield, 2006.
You did, okay. Because if you missed him, I would have killed you. I love Barry Cofield.
Nope.
What about Andre Brown?
No, didn't make.
You have his jersey.
I do have his jersey. This is true.
So you're just ridiculous. All right, and one more shout out to Kyle Loletta. All right.
You have the 5th round.
Yeah, I know I do, Justin. I thought it was going to be really cool getting the 1st round. It wound up sucking because I got the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th, and they all suck.
And the 2nd and the 4th are tremendously fun.
Tremendous. Oh, my God. It's fucking brutal, man. I get this shit on the stick every goddamn week. Whatever.
Who are your 2?
I'm going David Diehl, who I would say is one of the finer Giants offensive linemen that has been drafted by the Giants and in Giants history.
Yeah, I would agree.
Versatility, production, longevity, toughness, leadership. David Diehl definitely belongs on this list. And maybe, maybe a little controversial, not really, because there's nobody else. Jabril Wilson. Jabril Wilson, Super Bowl champion. He was a very underrated safety. Like, he was nothing special.
He was good.
He was good. He was good. He was nothing special. You know what I mean? He was very good at his job. He wasn't going to cost you games. He wasn't going to get burnt. He wasn't going to do any of that shit. He was just a good football player. So I believe Jabril Wilson belongs on this list. I thought about Kevin Boss, but I don't know. Kevin Boss was all right. He had that big run in the Super Bowl. He was very solid after Shockey went down in 2007. So you have a lot of respect for him. I don't want to say Devin Kennard because he went on to have not great success, but he went on to have success in Detroit.
Yeah, his success is outside of the Giants building. So
right, exactly. And then this 5th round, it truly is disgusting. And then I just want to mention Mitch Petrus. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. And also Nick Grayson. I used to love playing with him in Madden because his name was Nick and he was oh, never mind.
A guy that you missed was Dave Meggett.
I did miss Dave Meggett. Yes, you're right.
1989 out of Towson. You already mentioned Jabril Wilson, 2004 to Tennessee. Kevin Boss, 2007, Western Oregon. David Diehl, 2003, Illinois. And that's it.
So really not good at all. Like Jonathan Goff was good for a year.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. What about Rhett Bomar? I just go to the 6th round. I can't take this shit. Really
6th round. The 2 guys that I settled on. There's more names in the 6th round, but it's just a matter of familiarity and value.
Yes.
Greg Larson was an offensive lineman / center from 1961 to 1973. Didn't write down what college he went to.
It's okay.
But longevity. Giants had their lineman. Giants had their center for a long time. Doug Reisenberg, 1987 Super Bowl champ. 1987 to 1995, he played with the Giants, and he went to California. So I'm going with 2 offensive linemen as the best Giants draft picks of the 6th round. Some other guys, Corey Miller, for you guys, I know there's a lot of people that listen to us that really love the 90s. Corey Miller was a linebacker for the Giants from 1991 to 1999, where he went to South Carolina. Howard Cross, 1989, went to Alabama. Stacy Dillard, shout out to you because you're on Twitter, Giants Twitter. He was a defensive tackle, 1992, went to Oklahoma. And then Jaquan Williams, 2011, and he went to USF.
Yep, and you know what you did? You forgot the biggest one.
Did I forget the biggest one from the 6th round?
You forgot David Tyree.
No, fuck. It's again. I
see. This was not. I'm telling you guys, this was not an easy thing to put together. There's so many players that you have to look through, and you're gonna miss it. Like I missed plenty. Justin, you just missed David Tyree.
I know. So here's what I'm gonna do.
Do you revise the top 2?
I'm revising my top 2,
okay,
and David
that's fair.
Tyree.
I think that's fair.
David Tyree is going to take Doug Reisenberg's spot.
Yes, I think that's fair. But although Doug Reisenberg is a good pick.
Yes. Yeah.
Because think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. David Tyree was a good special teams player, and he's known for one thing. And that's it. Doug Reisenberg actually had a career. So I could understand the logic and reasoning, but, I mean, David Tyree, man, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Frank Walker had a pick 6 in Tampa Bay, I think 2003. There's really nothing else, my God. Oh, my goodness.
And this is what you expect at this point in the draft.
No, I know, but I'm looking.
If anything, this is an exercise that serves. This is just how difficult it is to hit on these late round guys.
Late round gems. Yep. Jaquan Williams. I love you mentioned Jaquan Williams because without Jaquan Williams, we don't win Super Bowl 46.
No, and that was his rookie year that he did that too.
Yeah. Yep, did nothing after that. Rest in peace, Tyler Sash, drafted in the 3rd round or 6th round at Iowa. Yeah, that's Corey Ballantyne. Yeah, it is Corey Ballantyne. I hope your leg is okay. But yeah, okay. So 6th round, yeah, it's true. It really is so true that like it's impossible finding. I don't want to say impossible because teams do it and guys hit, but when you're dart throwing in the 6th and 7th rounds,
But the 7th round has a lot of hits, actually.
It does. It does. And that's where we go now. And I'm going with, I think, a pretty obvious one. I'm probably talking about, right?
Ma Bradshaw.
A little midget of Ma Bradshaw. Yep. Running back, New York Giants drafted 2007 out of Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
He inspired me to run with my neck.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
That was the inspiration. Well, remember my 40?
I do remember your 40.
Yeah, so that he was my inspiration. Like while I was running, I was thinking this is how Bradshaw would run, but it kind of looked different.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You probably whatever. All right, and then we're gonna go. This one is tough. I didn't want to do 2 running backs, but I'm going to, and I'm taking Derek Ward.
I think that's a really bad pick.
Why? Who did I miss?
Perry Williams is a 2-time Super Bowl champ, I believe secondary player from 1984 to 1993. Went to North Carolina State.
Oh fuck! I did miss.
And
I do.
Lionel Manuel.
Lionel Manuel. Yep.
Lionel Manuel from 1984 to 1990 is a 2-time Super Bowl champ.
It's back-to-back years, and I legitimately missed them both. Holy shit!
Yeah.
See, look at us. Look at this. This is what happens. There's so many guys on here, and so many. You miss. You miss.
Corey Widmer was a linebacker from 1990 to 1999. Went to Montana State. So again, I know there's a lot of people out there that like reference the 90s, the post Super Bowl 25 days on Giants Twitter often. So he gets a shout out. He went to Montana State. You mentioned Derek Ward, 2004, went to Fresno State, and I'm telling you right now, Tay Crowder, 2020.
Oh yeah,
Georgia.
Before,
he's already worth mentioning on this list. And I think 5 years from now, like if Tay Crowder has 3 more good years with the Giants, 3 more. Maybe he finishes his rookie deal, so that would end in 2024, and then maybe he gets another year out of there.
Maybe
that is worth it, and that may be like it's up there with Bradshaw, Perry Williams, Lionel Manuel in terms of value.
Stop.
No, in terms of value.
Oh, okay.
Not
okay,
like
right.
we're gonna.
I didn't let you finish. You're right.
Not like we're gonna remember Tay Crowder because he won 2 Super Bowls, but up there in value with top value round 7 picks. Tay Crowder will be up there.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Listen, he was pretty productive as a rookie. Like, he had a couple big plays. Yeah. So I'll shout out him. I won't shout out Matt Dodge. That's what I will not do.
Oh, he was a 7th round pick?
He was a 7th round pick. Disgusting. And
I wonder how he feels about himself. Like, when he looks at himself in the mirror,
is he still alive?
What does he think?
Is he still alive?
Probably not.
We should get him on the show.
No. Or, yes, we should get him on the show. And then, all right, thanks for coming on, 5 seconds in, and then pull a Simple Man Radio.
Yeah. Oh, that would be pretty funny. And not Carter Coughlin, but Tom Coughlin's favorite player was drafted in the 7th round, too. Do you know who that was?
Tom Coughlin's favorite player.
He was his favorite player. Always played him, and he was terrible. Absolutely terrible. He stuck around the team for I don't know why or how long. Probably like 3 or 4 years, but he was Tom Coughlin.
What era is this? Is this first Super Bowl era or second Super Bowl era?
This is he was drafted post 46. So the year, I guess, that draft.
Post 46, and he stuck around.
He stuck around till like 2015.
Oh my!
He played like 4 years with the Giants, and he played a lot.
Defense
tackle. Big white guy.
No, I'm not. I blocked
Marcus
him out.
Kuhn.
Marcus Kuhn. Oh,
yeah.
He did play a lot.
Reason, he played a lot.
He
was
much.
So bad. He was so bad. And it's not like the Giants lacked a defensive tackle either. For whatever reason, Tom Coughlin loved the guy.
The Cullen Jenkins days were pretty dark.
God, Cullen Jenkins. I remember being pumped up about getting him.
Jenkins, Robert Ayers, Marcus Kuhn, and,
Hey, Robert Ayers had a 10.5 sack season.
He did, but, I mean, the fact that was the best.
I was like Azeez Ojulari sacks.
Yes, and then like a pre JPP blowing up his fingers, which he actually was better after he blew up his fingers than like the year before.
Yeah, well,
I think. I may be wrong on that.
What a joke. We fucking suck.
All right, let's go through this quick and let's end this. After the 7th round, and then the UDFAs. So I think the 2 after the 2nd round are kind of obvious because I only have 3 guys.
After the 7th round.
After the 7th round.
Yes.
And who are those 2 for you?
Well, I mean, obviously Jesse Armstead.
Yep, 8th round out of Miami. Yeah.
8th round. Was it 8th round?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, come on, Ken Graham.
Oh, I did not have him. I guess he's a 4th. I had. Why are you smiling?
Because Ken Graham it makes me laugh.
Wait, didn't he suck?
He wasn't great.
He was a fucking quarterback.
Don Maynard. 9th round. He was a quarterback.
Yeah, don't stop it. Stop it. Don't fucking tease me like that.
Sorry.
Don't do that.
Sorry.
Brian Kelly was taken in the 14th round, 1973 linebacker, part of the Crunch Bunch. Mm-hmm. And then George Martin, 11th round out of Oregon.
Which is just, that might be the biggest steal in NFL history.
I think
the 11th round, George Martin.
Armstead's more.
Yeah, Armstead is more. He was more. Well, I think there's an argument to be made there. I'm sorry.
Imagine if Armstead was a couple years older and he played with everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, that would be ridiculous. Or if he was a couple years, if he was a couple years, younger, he wouldn't be drafted after the 7th round.
Right.
But, yeah, but dude, George Martin played with the Giants. How long did he play with the Giants? Like 10 years?
It was a very long time. It was like 75 to it passed the first. I think it was the first Super Bowl.
Yes. He won a Super Bowl. Yeah. And he's the 2nd leading defensive lineman in touchdowns. Like that guy.
Yes.
I don't know. I think you can make an argument.
You can make an argument. Well, he's on the list with Jesse Armstead. Those are the 2 guys.
Those are the 2 obvious.
Yeah, yes. Drafted after the 7th round. And then UDFAs.
I think these are pretty easy too.
Emlyn Tennell, 1948, Toledo in Iowa, and then Victor Cruz, 2010 from UMass.
Yeah, I mean, how am I going to rebut?
We could be missing some other ones, but here are some other ones that I have down. Jake Ballard, 2010 from Ohio State. DJ Ware. If you're looking up DJ Ware on Pro Football Reference, do not search DJ. You have to search Danny Ware, which that threw me for a loop before we were recording. DJ Ware, 2007 out of Georgia. Chase Blackburn, 2005 out of Akron. Jared Lorenzen, 2006, Kentucky. Mark Herzlich, 2011, Boston College. And then Henry Heinoski, 2011, from the University of Pittsburgh. Snack, say something.
I tell you, Henry was a beast, baby. He was a beast. Sorry.
And that's it.
I forgot I had to say something to you forgot Spider Lockhart.
I did.
Well, that wasn't undrafted. He was in the 13th round. So I kind of went back.
Okay.
I kind of went back a little bit. I wanted to scroll through because I thought I want to make sure we didn't forget anybody.
There probably is somebody who we are forgetting with the UDFAs.
I'm sure.
Because
I'm sure.
I Googled like best Giants undrafted free agents of all time. Emlyn Tennell doesn't come up.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But he wasn't drafted.
No, he was not drafted. We've talked about this.
Yes.
Too.
He was drafted by the military, but he was not drafted by the Giants.
Well, then that's why he's not on the undrafted list. He was drafted.
Oh, I guess.
He was drafted.
I guess that's a technicality.
See what I'm doing? Like, when we go to World War III, you going to accept your draft invite?
Me?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm skinny now.
You're fucked.
I have a club foot. I was
You
born
could probably pass it. You could probably pass. Wait, time out. I was gonna say you could probably pass the physical. So now.
Nope.
Can,
I don't. Well, I don't know if I pass physical. I don't know how strict
you
they are.
You have a club foot too?
My left foot is a size 10. My right foot's a size 12. My right calf is bigger than my left calf.
All right. Well, your club foot was worse than mine. My club foot. So my foot was this way, and my knee was that way. But my feet are the same size.
My foot came out.
What kind of fucking doctor did you have?
My foot came out and it was facing like 7 o'clock.
It was looking like a hockey stick, right?
Yeah, it was fucked up. It was facing like 7 o'clock. It was fucked up.
Yeah. All I know is from what I remember when I was born. And so much is what I was told. Foot this way, knee that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it said I was gonna be in bars. My foot.
Yeah, well, I had like a skateboard without wheels.
Yeah.
So it can kind of keep my feet straight. And my father, he would just sit there and he would just do that. I mean, if you're listening on the podcast app, he would just twist my foot. He would just sit there as an infant, and he would just twist my foot so my foot can move. Like the muscle memory. I'm also allergic to peanuts. So,
oh my God, what is wrong with you?
So maybe that's my goal in not being drafted, but I'm skinny now. It's not like they're going to say that I'm obese. Well, I wasn't obese before, but they're not going to turn to me and say you're too fat, you can't join.
No, that's what I was saying. You could probably pass a physical now.
I'm down to like 220, man.
I know. It's pretty. You look great.
Thank you.
You look great. I look good. You know what? A lot of good news. A lot of good news going around the world. Well, I shouldn't say that. I just fucked that one up. There's a fucking war going on.
Yep.
The
draft joke. I mean,
the draft joke. Well, I can't be drafted. That's why I joke about it.
Oh, okay. You had cancer?
I'm serious. I can't. I literally can't.
Is it because you had cancer?
It's a medical condition. Yeah, I can't. I'm serious. Anybody, if you're like in remission, you have cancer. It doesn't matter how long you can't get drafted.
No, it makes sense.
I also think I'm too old, and they don't want me there anymore. Yeah. So.
Well, you would kill a motherfucker. I know that.
Well, without a doubt, I would storm in. Yeah. Doesn't matter. I had a lot of fun with that episode, though.
Yeah, it was good. It was a fun exercise, and I recommend doing the same thing, except you just listen to the episode. But go on Pro Football Reference, and you can Google like Giants draft picks all time, and this is exactly what we did, and we just went through kind of year by year, and we chose our list that way. So go and do this exercise, and hopefully, if you're thinking about and you're worried about the Giants draft today, it's hard to hit on these draft picks, and that's why it's helpful that the Giants have 9. Maybe they can get a seventh rounder like Ahmad Bradshaw, and exactly, you're hopefully well, they don't have a 7th round pick this year, but you know what I mean. Yeah. And even if they walk away with one hit out of the 5th and 6th round, you take it.
That's a win.
That's a win. So
yeah, that's a win because they're a dime and a dozen, and I truly did enjoy scrolling down. And Pro Football Reference is just so unbelievable.
I love it, man. I love it.
It's
I could spend all day on Pro Football Reference, and I do sometimes.
And I liked like the stuff that you taught me too. I won't go on about this, but you've taught me a lot of stuff. It's very, very cool, a great resource. And the draft pick stuff, like I would legitimately, if you're watching and listening live right now, pull this up, and then click like round, and then just scroll through.
Yeah.
Tell us who we missed, like anything, because it's a lot of fun. There's so many names, and it's really cool to reminisce. Like there was a couple of guys that that I've watched in my life that I didn't realize was drafted. Dan Campbell in the 3rd round. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Are you
I didn't know that.
Like, what, nuts at Corsi? Like, what are you doing? But no, it's very cool, very fun exercise. So I highly suggest you guys do it.
All right, so we will see you next week. Keep on bleeding blue. We'll come at you with another draft episode. Snacks, we'll see you next week. Take it away.
Fuck you, Tiki Barber.